Hello and good morning, everybody, to our weekly podcast of Ask Me Anything. We have some very, very interesting questions today. But first, we will all close our eyes, take some deep breaths. So let's do that. Please join me. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Letting go of all distractions created by our nine doors and focusing internally on the seven chakras of our energy being. The Mooladhara chakra or the root chakra, which is near your anus. The sacral chakra, which is near your sexual glands. Solar plexus, which is under the navel. The heart chakra, which is placed at the level of the heart in the center. The throat chakra, which is in the neck. The third eye, which is in the center of your forehead. And the crown chakra, which is connected to the crown of your head. Where, if you can remember, Brahmins or Pandits used to create a long strand of hair or multiple hairs. Wonderful. Take a deep breath and come back in the here and now. And let's answer today's questions. So, question number one. What is the difference between Akar and Nirakar? Right? Two schools of thoughts of religion, within which every religion shows up. Akar or Nirakar. Nirakar means without any existence, physical or thought-based. Nirakar does not mean no statues, no idols. It means not even a thought. Because as soon as you have a thought of something, it is Akar. The Upanishads tell us that the Almighty is faster than your imagination. So your imagination cannot catch it. The Almighty is in everything and is in nothing. Just like you had no Akar before the union of the sperm and the ovary. You came from nothingness. So anybody who talks about following the Nirakar is actually also following the Akar, because you have created the Akar in your thought, trying to imagine the uncreated. Why do we need that? Because to focus, we need some kind of identification. Without a point to focus, we can't focus. That is the whole thing about focus. And without focus, we can't achieve the Nirakara. So eventually, there is no difference between Akar and Nirakar because both start at the thought. They may be different in physical manifestation, but both have an Akar. So that is the answer to your first question that you had. The second one is a little more practical. Is smiling an outside validation or an inner wisdom or bliss? Depends on how you're smiling. If the smile is not forced, for me, most of the time it is not. So when I was growing up, my teachers used to say, I can't scold him for getting bad marks because he smiles. And we melt when he smiles. And that was not because of any external thing that was forcing me to smile. It just came internally. Without any external power forcing you to smile, it is internal and does not require wisdom or bliss. It just is. The second question is how to know that your subconscious is awakened or the conscious is interfering during meditation. The pathway to the subconscious is through the conscious. Conscious does not interfere. It creates a path for you to get to the subconscious. Conscious tells you the subconscious exists. Without the identification of the conscious, we talked about Akar, Nirakar. Same way, there would be no subconscious identification without the conscious identification. The difference is in the mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind absorbs everything. The subconscious mind controls everything. The subconscious mind is not without filters. It is not without judgment. It just goes deep into what truly is. When you have challenges in life, consciously you will say, I have a problem with this person because of the way they smell. But where did that judgment come from smelling? It came from a memory stored in your subconscious mind. I don't like fish. I'm allergic to mangoes. I am allergic to mangoes. So it comes all from the subconscious mind. When you meditate, you go beyond the conscious and the subconscious mind. There are two states that are mentioned in the Mandukya Upanishad. The conscious state and the subconscious state. The conscious state has two parts, aware and dream. Aware means I'm aware of everything. Dream means I am, वो कहते हैं ना ख्याली पुलाव पकाना, making castles in the air, doing nothing about it, just being in your own world, and somebody comes and knocks you over and you don't even realize they're walking in front of you. That's unawareness. But it's a conscious dream state. In the subconscious dream state, the subconscious sleep state, conscious state and the subconscious sleep state, you go from dreaming to nothingness. So in meditation, when you close your eyes, you start with, I am thinking, and you go from thinking to being aware of your breath, your heartbeat, of everything that's happening in your body. Then you go into the thoughts of your mind with your eyes closed. This happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. And as you keep going, that also quietens down. So you start by, I am eyes open, I can see this, oh, this is happening, that's happening, oh, this is happening, that's happening, what's happening? Mind is chattering. Eyes closed, mind chattering reduces. Aware of my breath, aware of my breath, aware of my breath. Mind chattering starts in the eyes closed. I'm aware of them, aware of breath, and then aware of nothing. So this is the stages we go in meditation. So to answer your question, conscious and subconscious do not interfere. And please, 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 everybody who's watching, feel free to ask your questions in the chat box. I'm there. Good morning to Nimrita, Jay, Sandeep. Thank you so much for being here. And good morning also to Kanchan, Premji, Apurva, and Ritaji. Thank you so much for joining us here. So please continue to ask your questions if you have any. Let us move now to the next question, which is, what is the meaning of Jaisa Desh, Vaisa Bhesh? So, let's say you walk into France and you don't know French. It'll be hard, right, to communicate with them. And then you look at people around you and they behave in a different manner. And you're like, oh, look how he's behaving. Oh, how she's behaving. So, Jaisa Desh, Vaisa Bhesh has two parts. One is, first, very important, accept people for who they are and what they're doing. Don't question it. It may not agree with your point of view, but be in acceptance of it. It is a point of view that they carry. They feel this is the right way to live. Can you be just okay with that? Just be okay. Not, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to bother with it. Just be okay with it. One. Okay. Next is to learn. The best thing to learn is about language. Nothing else you need to do. You don't need to behave like them. No, you just have to learn the language. Because at this point, we don't really communicate very well with thoughts. So words and language makes a huge difference in giving you acceptance. Not because they see you in a low level. It's just that if your language is different, their language is different, it's very hard to express what you're saying, and people feel that they will be misunderstood, and they normally are misunderstood. Okay, so that's what happens. So it is better to first accept for people for who they are, what they do, why they are the way they are. And the second part is to learn the language, and that's all you need to do in Jaisa Desh, Vaisa Bhesh. You don't need to change your clothes, nothing. It's okay for people to judge you for your clothes. It's all right. Eventually, they'll also get over it. Okay. Yes, Premji, ask your question. I have two more questions here also, but please ask your question.
गुड मॉर्निंग डॉक्टर सौरभ.
Good morning.
मेरा एक है कि कभी कभी मेडिटेट करते समय, चाहे हम गाइडेड मेडिटेशन करें या वैसे, तो कभी कभी नींद आ जाती है. ये ठीक है या नहीं?
बिल्कुल ठीक है. Not a problem. But realize that your meditation is only happening till the point you are awake. Okay?
Okay.
When you fall off to sleep, it's over. The meditation part is over.
Okay. That means we should not sleep.
No, don't force it. It will happen automatically. Your ability to meditate longer will happen automatically. Don't force it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the questions here are: how do you explain Supreme God? Supreme God is what I said before, a little before, is something, somebody you cannot explain. If you explain it, they're not supreme. Every Upanishad tells you one thing: you cannot explain God. You can feel them, I can feel them, we can't explain them. How do we feel them? In day-to-day stuff. My ability to talk, my voice, is a gift of my experiences, my ancestral experiences, because it's their contribution. The throat that is formed is a part of what they have modeled over their lifetimes. So the way they behaved has led me to who I am here. Of course, add to that my own experiences in my past lives mixing together. So आप मिट्टी लेके आए फ्रांस से, आप मिट्टी लेके आए मुल्तान से, you mix it together and now you say there's something new that's happened. That is you. This is the experience you're having as a as a part of the Supreme God. So you can only experience it. You can't explain it. Now, you can keep on trying because that's all we all do. It'll always be running faster than you. There is a beautiful story in the Upanishads where Brahma is the highest god in the Upanishads, where uh, he goes and sits there, and the three gods, Indra, fire, and wind, don't recognize him. So I believe fire goes first and tries to burn this blade of glass that this Brahma is holding. So he says, what can you do? He says, I can burn this. He tries and he burns, tries and he burns. He can't. So he gives up. He says, this person is not telling me who it is. He said it's a blade of glass, but I can't burn it. So the wind goes, and wind tries to blow it away. Can't do it. Indra goes to destroy it. Can't do it. The recognition is that it is faster than any natural processes you see out there from nature, including human beings. So it's faster than our mind, faster than what we can comprehend, faster than what we can think. Cannot be explained. Okay, one. For the how do you explain through Supreme God? Years and years and years and years and years and years of explanations and arguments and discussions, vivad, samvad, sab ho gaya. Cannot be explained. So just experience it, don't explain it. Don't explain it. Anvesha's question is why we get diseases. Okay. So diseases are, let's begin with who am I? I am a soul. So in the beginning of life, as we are explained in the Shastras, there was the Nirakar, nothing. And the Nirakar decided to create, so created little tiny souls like us. And we were playing in the Vishnu's Dham. And we said to Vishnu, we're getting bored, we want more. So Vishnu said, Tathastu. So we all got into various forms across various universes. By the way, do you know that your Milky Way, or Akash Ganga as it's called, has billions of planets and stars and everything? And we are not even, we're just beginning to cross our solar system over so many years. So we are just a speck of a speck, and there's billions of organisms just like us. Okay. Now, coming back to what happens with diseases is that we as a soul decide that this is what I want to experience in my life. Now, the diseases are basically challenges that we create to experience certain emotions. Nothing more. That's it. Can we get rid of those diseases? There is only one way. Okay, and it's very simply said, but very hard to do. It's simple, but not easy. To acknowledge, accept, and allow for whatever that's happening in your life. And if you do not know what acknowledge, accept, and allow is, I will share the video of that very soon on our groups, so you guys can see it and understand it. We need to acknowledge, accept, and allow. And you know what? I am no person to tell anybody who's going through an extreme disease that don't feel the pain you're feeling. You need to feel it. I understand you will feel it. I had a very, very, very beautiful client with me, and they were told by a doctor about something that's happening in life, that this is it. But they sat down and told me, and this is brilliant teaching for me, that this is not it. I don't agree with it. Wonderful, beautiful, right? I don't agree with it. So what is this person going to do? This person is going to do everything possible to make sure that they find a cure for whatever that's going through them. And the day they do, they are going to solve the problem for thousands and millions of others who are going through the same thing. Because they are determined that there is no way that this is it. I am rejecting, or not rejecting, I am acknowledging what what the doctor said. I'm just going to move forward from there and find my own. Because there is nobody in this world, nor you, nor me, can ever say this is the limit. There is no limit. So somebody asked the question before, right? How do you explain Supreme God? I can't. Keep searching. Maybe you can. Keep going deeper. Maybe you can. Just because millions and millions of sadhus and saints haven't found it doesn't mean you can't. It's just up to you how you want to do it. So diseases come to experience emotions. Going back to metaphysical reasons, so that means there are certain things that have happened in our life that cause these diseases. Let's say, oh, you have diabetes because you are like this, but you are like this because you need to face that emotion. And we create diseases because we are not ready to accept that emotion. We go into what's called the victim mode. What is victim mode? Join me at 10 o'clock when we do our masterclass, where I'm going to talk about this a lot more. Okay. The next question is, what is the purpose of life? I'm 50 years old and experienced a lot of life. After my death, everything is useless. So how to understand the truth? We're traveling in infinite time. So one, can you please share your experiences with people, with younger people, so they know what the life experience is? Because your experience is to give to, like you were handed down experiences from other people's life. You need to hand down the same thing. Nothing we gain in life is for us. I always fight for the environment. I challenge people's things. People keep on talking about pruning trees, and I say there is no pruning unless it's done by an expert. You are cutting down trees and you're killing them. Let's be clear. And in the name of progress or whatever, that's nonsense. Okay, you've just got a great word called pruning, and you want to get away from the thought that you're cutting. You are cutting. So, is this for me? A tree which is planted today, I may never see it grow completely. I may or may not see it grow completely. We always create for other people. Our experiences are to create for the next generation. Like our parents created for us, we create for the next generation and so on. Maybe you have kids, maybe you don't have kids, and that's okay. Just keep creating because you're creating for the next generation, never for you. When you say, I'm creating for me, you are in Tamsik. What is Tamsik, Rajsik, and Satvik? We've already done this before, but we will take it up soon again. Okay. So I've answered Sanjay. I think I've answered all the questions. Any more questions? So I have a request. If you guys enjoying this, if you're liking it, please share it with people. Just share, send it to them. So it's just a link and not a heavy video. They can just watch it. If it helps them, I'll be very, very happy if you can do that. At the same time, if you're liking it, please like the video so that more people will get access to it and see it. In the meantime, thank you to Sanjay, Mind Coach Sanjeev, Anvesha, Sri Karma, Sandeep Garg, JM, for all your, and Anvesha, thank you so much for all of your questions and your comments. And thank you to Rita ji, Apurva, Premji, Kanchanji for joining in and making this a success. Let's close our eyes. I will give about 10 seconds, then we close our eyes and we shall. Oh, there's a question. Why would the soul want to come with negative energies? Interesting. The soul has no judgment. There is no such thing as negative or positive energy. Soul comes to experience things. Now, why do we experience things or why emotions happen? Emotions are the fuel for the universe to keep expanding. Universe is Shiva, Parvati is the energy, positive and negative both go hand in hand. The universe always needs to balance. If one soul comes with plenty of negative, the other will come with plenty of positive. How your mind deciphers them is positive or negative, which is why you come into spirituality and saying, how can I shift all these negative thoughts into positive thoughts? What can I do to accept what's happening in my life and not get bothered by it? That is what spirituality does for you. And of course, the Supreme Spirituality books are all in Sanatan Dharma. The Supreme Spirituality documentary is all in Sanatan Dharma. Yes, Sanjay ji, ghosts do exist 100%, just like you and me. So soul has three parts: the non-local soul, which is called the supreme being, supreme God; the local soul, which is our soul, which is unattached; and the third is our soul, which is attached and which is refusing to let go of the bodily desires even after its death, becomes a ghost. Till the time it gets to a point that it is it goes to a point where, give me 1 second, guys, give me 1 second. So it goes to a point where, so they get attached and then they go to a point where they learn how to unattach themselves. So when you learn to unattach yourself from the bodily functions, you stop becoming a ghost and you go into your next life. Okay, so let's close our eyes, take a deep breath, and everybody's invited to the next one, which is a masterclass at 10. See you then. But let us now close our eyes and assimilate everything we have learned in this life, in this space, in this time, right now, right here, and Ask Me Anything. From here on now, every word you hear from me will help you relax and go deeper into your spiritual quest. You're going to chant Om 3 times. You can chant Om, Amen, or Amin, whatever you choose. It's all the same. Sound, scientifically proven, has moves slower than light, but sound is a universal frequency on which even light exists. And before we do the third one, I want you to put your tongue, touch your tongue to the top of your mouth. Put your focus of your eyes to the center of your forehead. Shoulders straight, back straight. Take a deep breath. When you do the last chant of Om, the way I just showed you, whenever you have lust for food, for people, for material things, chant that 11 times and that will die out. I shall see you all next week with another episode of Ask Me Anything. Till then, thank you and dhanyavad to all of you for joining in today. God bless you.